Well, hello, everybody. Andrew here, Top Fitness Strategies. Hello. This is a rare Sunday morning appearance for me in my time slot, and you'll understand why I'm saying that in just a few seconds. But today we have a great interview coming up. But before we do, I do want to talk about my sponsor, as we always do. And today's sponsor is the 102 At-Home Common Sense Health and Fitness Tips. And you can go do it. Go to it right there. I'm a little tongue-tied. And as always, you know how to do it. Go to the page, click on it, do your stuff, and we'll go from there. All right, just a second here. Let me get this on here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so today we got something pretty cool. This is a gentleman that I ran into and found his page. And I tell you what, before I don't want to talk about him without having him on the screen, so I'm going to bring him on. Helius. I know I'm going to mispronounce Helius, the personal trainer and anti-aging specialist. Welcome to the Top Fitness Strategies interview program.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you for having me over.
Okay, so Helius, I always talk about this when I broadcast. Is I talk about how I ran into or how I came across the people I interview. So I'm looking through different Facebook pages and I'm typing in different words that have to do with health and fitness, but I wanted to be a little bit different. So I typed in on a whim just anti-aging, and you were the first one that came up. I'm looking at the page, and I'm like, this dude is cool. I got to get him on here. And so I sent him a couple of messages. We've been playing back and forth a little bit, and this is the first time we're actually talking live was just a few minutes ago. Now, I am here on Sunday morning in my time zone. He is. I'll tell you what. Tell us where you are. Tell me where you are right now.
Okay, so I'm currently in India, and I'm based in a city called Bangalore, but I'm currently in my hometown called Mangalore. So there's a difference between Bangalore and Mangalore. But yeah, I'm based in India right now.
Okay.
And it's about 8 p.m. here.
Yeah, 8 p.m. It's a little after 9:30 a.m. me. So
Yes.
The power of the internet. Here we are. Okay, so. All right, so your page says anti-aging specialist. I want to get into that in a little bit, but I do not have a bio on you on purpose because I know this is going to be special. It's going to be different. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you became personal trainer, anti-aging specialist. Go ahead.
Brilliant. Yeah. So I've always been exposed to health and fitness from a very long time. The first exposure I actually had with health and fitness was when I was about 3 or 4 years old, and I vaguely remember. As in, what I mean to say, I just have a very hazy remembrance of a book that my dad had, and it was a biography of Arnold Schwarzenegger. And in the book, it had him doing the double bicep pose, and my mom was feeding me food, and I didn't want to eat the food that she was giving me. And she said, if you want to look like the man on the book, you better eat this. And that was the first recall that I had about something that's to do with muscles. And over a period of time, I just happened to be very intrigued, or about the whole health and fitness, about the current bodybuilders that were there back then. And and my whole passion of working out eventually turned to this thing about getting it into a profession, because people came up to me every single time asking me, how do I do this exercise, or how do I do that? And every time someone would do something a little incorrectly, it would make me cringe. And I had to go and explain it to them. This is not how you do it. And it got me into trouble so many times, where I was asked to leave the gym because I was spoiling the gym's business. But it didn't stop me. So
good for
and
you.
of course, yeah. So this is basically just a very short version of the story. And I did, of course, get formally trained in various certifications that would the prerequisites of getting into the fitness industry. And here I am.
Great, fantastic. Now, I got to say, we are brothers. We are partners. We're both in the in the United States. We call it ISSA. You call it
Yes.
ISA, if I recall.
It's the same thing. ISA. I said ISA. It's ISSA. Yes.
Right, absolutely. So we're both brethren in that one. And you have several other certifications. I have several other certifications as well.
Yes.
But the one thing that I led me or attracted me to your page was the anti-aging thing. So how does somebody become an anti-aging specialist, and what exactly does we all know what anti-aging means? It means you stop your aging process.
Yes.
But all right, so
Right.
give me a Reader's Digest version of how you do all that, or what led you
Brilliant.
to that. How's that?
Yeah, for sure. So people generally mistake the anti-aging specialist. Meaning, I keep getting inquiries from people who are asking me if I'm interested in selling their products of, some face creams and stuff like that that would make them look young. And I have to explain to them the real
Mhm.
story of what anti-aging means in what I'm trying to say. So, to give you a very quick understanding, basically, anti-aging is the what you do to slow down the process of aging. Okay, so when it
Okay.
comes to fitness, how do you do that? Like, if I have to give you a quick story of a young
Yeah.
kid who is probably late for school, and he realizes he's late for school now, and he just jumps out of his bed and he goes like, "Oh fish, I'm late. I need to get to school," and he runs about. He brushes his teeth in a hurry, and he's having his breakfast, and he gets on to wearing his uniform, and he's in a whole hustle and bustle, runs out, and then he runs to maybe catch his bus. And every single thing that he does has to do with being quick, has to do with being very agile and quick thinking in every manner. But
Okay.
as you get older, say if you're in your maybe your late 30s or your 40s or even your 50s, and say you woke up late for work,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be able to do the same thing you did as a young kid. You would probably get up from your bed, even though you were late, you would sit down to make sure you're mentally there. You have a back problem, you want to get up from the bed slowly. So you do things very differently, despite of the urgency remaining the same. So
Okay.
what is the difference? So what is the difference between that young kid with your younger version and you as an older man? The only difference is that you've gotten old. Your body doesn't perform the same way it would when you were
Mm.
young. So how do you retain your youth? It's simple by, of course, exercising, slowing down the process of aging when you do that, increasing your lean muscle mass that retains youth, then working on other components of fitness like cardiovascular endurance, your flexibility, things that really play a very integral role in your day to day life. Working on your general physical preparedness, everything that would hold on to your youth. So that's my understanding. That's why I call myself the anti aging specialist, because when I have a client coming in, I teach them exercises that would uh, get them ready for the challenges of day to day life, like a squat or a push press, something that would mimic an activity that they have to do anyway outside. So that
Makes
is
sense.
how, yeah. So that's why I call myself anti aging, and that's the story behind it.
Well, I'm telling you what, that is an awesome brand that you have there, and obviously it's taken you far because you're doing quite well. And I say that because you have written several books in the fitness world, and we'll get into that in just a second. But
Right.
coming back to the anti-aging thing, because this fascinates me. I love your explanation, and you're spot on. I never thought of it that way, but you're spot on, and I absolutely love it. Now,
Thank you.
a lot of the stuff that you just talked about was workout based, lifting weight based, functional movement, functional fitness, however you want to term that based.
Yes.
I'm also assuming there's a lot of nutrition involved with this as well. Is correct?
Right. Right.
Okay. Now, I got to thank your mother because she said, if you want to look like him, you got to eat this. So is that the same? Is that the same thing you tell your clients? If you want to look like me, you got to eat this. Is that what you tell your clients?
Pretty much the same version, but most of my clients don't want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger anymore. They just want to remain fit. They just want to get rid of their backaches and stuff that really slows them down. So I kind of relate with what they want to do when they first approach me the first time. Let's
Hmm.
say someone wants to get ready for their wedding and they want to look good in their suit, or someone has some other issues, and that's how I would motivate them. I would try and connect it to emotional, what do you say, a goal that they have, something that drove them to get into fitness, and I would push it in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. And what you said is a lot what how I present to my audience. My audience is the over 50 crowd.
Right.
That basically just want to feel better and look better. I tell people all the time, if your goal is to show off your body on stage somewhere, fantastic goal, but that's not how I train, because I know a lot of my clientele, as much as they would like to have that kind of body, they don't want to put the time and effort into it. So
Yes.
I make sure I train to what their goal is, like you just said. So
Right. Right.
that is great, and I love to hear other people saying the same thing I am, because as you know as well as I do. And first I got to ask you, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm going to turn 37 next month.
Ah, you're still a young kid. Okay. You're still a young kid. I bring that up because with my crowd, I tell them all the time, all right, you're 50, 55, 60 years old. If you go to a gym and talk to a 25-year-old trainer, I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they do their job fantastic, but it's hard for you to relate to them, and it's hard for them to relate to
Exactly.
you, because there's a big age gap there. And we
Totally.
know that as
Totally.
well.
Yes.
Yeah, a big
Right.
age gap there. And so I bring all that up because one of the things that you also told me is on your Instagram page, which I linked to it, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
Helius_fitness training Instagram. You
Yeah.
said that 95% of your clientele are women based 25 to 40 years old, which is
Right.
roughly where you are in your age group. So
That's right.
my question comes up. My question is, why do you think your audience is 95% women? And looks aside, because obviously you're an attractive, good-looking young man. So what attracts that demographic to you? Do you know?
Yes. So, I mean, apart from certain uh, situations that happened that gathered that particular demographic to my page, what also happened is the fact that the kind of content that I post on Instagram, or let's say on Facebook, has to do with real life issues, and I could connect or empathize more with certain things that women go through. Say, for example, at least in the Indian society, to be a little more specific,
Okay.
like if she is cooking in the kitchen and she has to stand for a very long time cooking, so that
Yeah.
could give her like certain, maybe a backache or a leg ache standing for too long, or
Right.
someone who takes care of a child while she's cooking in the kitchen, holding the child in one arm and trying
Hmm.
and steering a vessel or cooking something in the other arm. So all these feats really make it very challenging, and I come up with solutions, or I tell them that I can help you do better by actually doing certain workouts that will make these things easy for you, or simple things like picking up stuff from the ground, or even medical problems like all these hormonal issues that women go through, you know. So
Hmm.
when I post content like that, I mean, that's the kind of crowd that gets attracted. And generally, this is without being too biased,
Hmm.
women in generally, despite of how good they already look, they're still more ambitious to look better, you know. So
Oh,
they will still
absolutely.
come to you. Yeah, they would still come to you saying, I still want to look better. And in my mind, I'm like, you already look so great. But I understand where they're coming from. Um,
Hmm.
and it's okay as long as they like what I'm posting and they're gaining value from it. Who am I to stop them? And I love helping them, and it's fine.
Absolutely. Now, I bring that question up to lead into this other question. Just because, and I could be totally wrong with this, and if I am, correct me. Just because that 95% of your client base on Instagram is ladies between age 25 and 40, that does
Right.
not mean you only work with ladies, right? You also work with guys, correct?
Yes, yes, very much. I do.
Okay.
It just so happens that 95% of the inquiries I get are all from women, and it's okay. I mean, it's probably a calling. Maybe it's something telling me that that's probably where I would do better. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. I welcome anything that's coming my way as long as I'm able to make a difference in people's lives and help them out. And it feels good when they tell you, Helius, thank you so much. I was really heavy, but after a couple of months, I'm this way. Or I went on a trek, and it was so much easier to climb up now than it was before. And it makes you feel really nice inside, like, wow, I did it for them, and like they're, it's good. It's a
Absolutely.
nice feeling. It's a nice feeling.
Yes, it is. And the folks that just joined us, I'm talking with Helius from the anti-aging specialist. If you want to find him on Instagram, Helius _ fitness training. Also on Facebook, the personal fitness trainer, anti-aging specialist. So I have all the links there. So go to them. All right. So one of the things I found on your page is, and you didn't know I was going to bring this up, but you have a WhatsApp fitness challenge. Right?
Yes.
This is, you said, your third year running. That intrigued
Right.
me because and several things about that intrigued me. But first of all, I didn't know you can have groups and stuff on WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp very often. I am with WhatsApp. I didn't know anything about it.
Right.
So I'm not going to get into technical stuff. I don't want to get into
Yes.
technical stuff. This is more
Right.
fitness. But what is this fitness challenge that you do? And this is the third year doing it. So obviously it's successful. So what is it?
Great. Okay, so one thing I would like the audience to know is that the fitness challenge is for 2 weeks, but that doesn't mean that fitness is all about just 2 weeks. Fitness
Right.
is a lifestyle commitment. So when you see an advertisement like that or a post saying it's a 2 week challenge, it shouldn't come to your mind that this trainer is only talking about a quick fix or something like that. What I try to do is I try to instill certain knowledge or certain guidance for the clients within the 2 weeks that should make them independent post the 2 weeks so that to be able to do things on their own.
Okay.
So to yeah. Now, if I need to talk about what the actual fitness challenge is, so I realized over a period of time that there are certain people who can't really exercise on their own or don't like following diets on their own. They thrive with a community.
Mm-hmm.
They like being able to be motivated by people of the same goal. So what I did was I created a WhatsApp group and I brought everyone who had the same goal of losing weight into one group. And it was only for 2 weeks. And I said, I'm going to provide you a diet every single day. And these are not tailor made diets, these are pre designed diets conducive to
Okay.
losing weight, but not directly for that particular person. But it does help them. So I simply post a meal plan and an exercise routine, a generalized one day before the day, and they're supposed to prepare themselves and follow it the next day.
Okay.
Post photographs of each and every meal that they are having. Post a post-workout selfie saying that they finished their workout and post it on the group. So what happens is when one person's eating healthy, the other person on the group also feels like doing the same thing, and there's another person doing the same thing, and eventually everyone's really motivated and they lose weight. And once that is done after 2 weeks, I tell them it doesn't end there. Now you need to take this to the next level yourself. So this works very well also with people who are not too sure about taking a big commitment like a 3 month commitment or a 6 month commitment. So
Okay.
who is Helius? Why should I invest all my money in the guy called Helius? I don't know this person. What if he takes my money and runs away? So there are many things that comes to your mind.
Oh,
So
yes,
if
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So if I can help them gain that confidence in 2 weeks that I can do something for them, that helps them decide if they want to take a longer commitment with me. And then they approach me. So Helius, I love the 2 weeks. What more do you have to offer? So that's
Interesting.
simple.
I like
Yeah.
I like that. Now, this is a big softball question to you, and if you don't know that analogy, it means it's going to be an easy question to you.
Yeah, I know what softball means. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So if since this is a WhatsApp group and
Hmm,
WhatsApp is obviously global,
right.
does this challenge apply to anybody in the world or just locally based for you?
So I do get sometimes clients from the UK and the United States.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and which is nice. And that normally happens through word of mouth. I may have a few clients here in India who may have relatives abroad. Now, the beauty of the challenge is that there is no time frame fixed to it. So I don't say breakfast at 7 a.m. or lunch at 1 p.m. So they can follow it according to their time zones.
Okay.
So as long as they're doing the basic, where they're sending me photos and those the filling in the basic requirements that are necessary, it doesn't matter wherever the world they are. So
Well,
I have had people in the US and the UK as well.
that's awesome. All right. Once again, if
Uh,
you want to contact Helios, I give you the links there. Fantastic. All
Thank
right.
you, thank
Now,
you.
Now I want to get into the books that you've written, because he sent me an email and he says he's written several books. And let me just read you a couple of things that Helios actually sent me. He says, I have two
Right.
types of services, being one being general fitness training for basic everyday fitness and fat loss, which we've been talking about. The other
Right.
service I provide is in the form of an online academy under the name TAP program, Trainer Adaptability Program. So you also work with personal trainers and train them
That's
in
right.
a different way, or tell me a little bit about this.
Sure, definitely. Okay, so this idea got conceived at a point when I was a personal trainer myself. And it's a very interesting story. It got me into trouble, but it also led to what I'm doing today. So I was training a very high profile client who was actually a client of a friend of mine in the same gym. Now, this trainer was on leave and he asked me if I could train this client for a few days. I said, sure, why not? Now, the next day when I started training him, I realized the person was kind of friendly. He spoke well, and we built a very good rapport and things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
that helped me let go of my inhibitions and to be a little more friendly with the gentleman.
Right.
So I remember we were going, and I was directing him to a decline bench press.
Okay.
And as he was going to the decline bench press, he took a while to get adjusted into the bench to be, it's on a decline, so it
Yeah. Yeah.
takes time to get in. Yeah. So while he did that, I just laughed, and I said, "Hey man, don't be a joker. Let's be quick or something of that sort." I said, "Don't be a joker or don't be a clown, something
Mm-hmm.
like that." And he didn't say anything. I gave him the bar. He did a set. He put it back, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, "I'll be back." I said, okay. So it was a minute, it was 2 minutes, and I wondered where the guy went. And it was like 5 minutes, and it got me thinking. And all of a sudden, another employee of the gym comes to me and says, the club manager is calling you. I said, okay, cool. I mean, I didn't know what was happening. So I went. And in I went to the room, and it was a glass room, so we could see what was happening. And there
Okay.
were two people sitting in. One was the client I was training, and the other was the club manager, and neither of them looked happy. And
Uh-oh.
I walked in, and my club manager looks at me and he says, Helius, did he just call him a joker? And I said, yes. So, I mean, the thing is, and the guy and the client looked at me and said, never, ever call me a joker. And and the thing is, for some reason, I realized that he may have had some emotional connect as a child, or something that may have happened to him that triggered his emotions when I called him that particular word. And I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't able to train him that day, and he requested for a change of trainer after that. So that made me realize, that particular day made me realize that as a trainer, regardless of how I looked, regardless of my qualification, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not able to handle a client based on my soft skills and my etiquettes and certain things, I may not necessarily become a very successful personal trainer. And
Okay.
I realized this. I had people to help me, but 90% or maybe a little less than that, trainers in India are all lost. They don't know what's happening. They don't know how to increase their sales. They don't know how to get clients. They don't know how to talk to their clients, and
Mm-hmm.
everything in the same manner that would sabotage their reputation and their career in the fitness industry. So this is where I came in, and I created this concept, this whole workshop that had to do with each and every aspect of helping them grow in the fitness industry and to be able to eliminate all these problems. So that's the backstory behind it.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
cool. So, it, uh, I don't even know how I want to phrase this, but with your training program for trainers, is that could those be used for your continuing education classes for, let's say you and I are both with the ISSA?
Yes.
Is this continuing education, or is it just something that you provide?
So this is something I just provide currently. So I would like to be honest with the audience right now. I still have to register this as an official course. So I
Okay.
don't provide any continued education points or anything of that sort. But whenever I speak about this program to any of the trainers, I'm always welcome because every trainer realizes this is something they needed. So I may not necessarily be able to use it as a continued education, but it is the need of the hour. And no one said no to me. They always said, yes, I would like to do this program.
Gotcha.
And yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, in the years later, I'll be able to kind of solidify things and make it into a proper actual
Yeah,
certification.
that's cool. That's cool. So, what other books do you have? that you've written? What other books have you written that are out there available?
Right. So the book which I was talking about, the TAP program, is going to be released in another 2 months. It's going to be as an encyclopedia for personal trainers. It's going to have everything from the history of fitness industry in India to the whole evolution of how to
Hmm.
handle clients. And so that's an encyclopedia that's going to come out. Apart from this book, I have also written another book which is called as the Portrait of Your Inner Warrior. Okay, which talks about the mental aspect of getting to the fitness. Also talks about the physical aspect and also talks about nutrition. So what I've done here is this was actually my first book, and I just wanted to get started. So
Hmm.
opinions really vary. Some people didn't really like the book too much. Some people really love the book. So it's from person to person. So what I've done is I've taken 10 different famous personalities and their quotes, and I've kind of reflected it in terms of the fitness. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So they have said it in regards to something else, but I've moved it in terms of how would you apply this into your fitness lifestyle. And
Hmm.
after every chapter, I've come up with a small journal and a workbook that they could do themselves and self-reflect on what they just read. So it's kind of like a self-help book, if you can call it that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I wrote this book because I just wanted to get started. I knew I was going to write the encyclopedia, and I really want the encyclopedia to do extremely well, but I needed to get started with something else so that I have the experience of what to do with my encyclopedia. So
Well,
that's the story behind the first book.
that's awesome. So, if somebody wanted to find this book, how would they do it? Where can they find it?
So I want to put this on Amazon.com, which I'll be
Okay.
doing soon. I had actually put it on Kindle, but unfortunately, I don't think the file got loaded properly. So
Okay.
I need to actually redo it.
Okay.
So I will make an announcement on my Instagram and Facebook page once it's
Okay.
officially done, where they could buy it online as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes,
you absolutely want to do that. And once you have that online ready to go, let me know, and I'll make sure I blast it out
definitely.
to folks as well. That would be great.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes.
And then you also mentioned your encyclopedia of fitness, and I'm sure I butchered the name there, but that is not published yet, or it's not finished
No,
yet.
it's not published yet. It's still in the designing phase. So the book is completely written, but I need to get the layouts done and get my ISBN number for the book. So it's going to be released soon.
Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic.
and that's going to go to all the gyms, and that's where I want to try and promote that and get people connected to my seminars and the workshop.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So, Helios, I only asked for about a half hour of your time. We're about up now, but tell
Take your
people
time.
how they can find you and how they can contact you.
Okay, so guys, if you want to email me, you could email me on heliusd@hotmail.com. Let me spell it out for you. Helius, that's my name, Helius.
Hmm.
D for D'Souza. So it's heliusd@hotmail.com. And if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I think you've already mentioned it on
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I have
but
a
I
link
will,
there. Yeah.
yes. So
Yep.
it's Helius underscore fitness training for Instagram, and on Facebook it is Helius D'Souza, personal fitness trainer and anti-aging specialist. So you could click like on the Facebook page, you could follow me on Instagram, and if you have
Mhm.
any personal questions, you could reach out to me anyhow. That would be great.
Well, fantastic. And I also tell people all the time, if you didn't get all that, if you're driving or you're just listening to this and you haven't written anything down, you can always send me a message and I'll make sure I get it to Helios. That's not a problem. We don't want anybody getting distracted from what they're doing. Be safe,
Yes.
especially if you're driving.
Yes.
Just be
Right.
safe.
Definitely.
Be
Of
safe.
course.
You can always contact me. It's not a problem there. So, Helios, any final parting words you'd like to give the listening audience out there before we leave, before I let you go?
Okay, so this is a little off guard. I haven't. Let me think. What can I say for everyone? Um,
Yeah,
so
I
first,
told you I wasn't going to put you on the spot, but I guess I lied about that one. I'm putting you on the spot
no, no,
here.
that's okay. That's okay. Okay. I really don't know. Okay, I just want to wish everyone over there all the best, and regardless of what your fitness goals are, be committed. Realize it's going to take time, no matter how difficult it is. Put in your heart and soul into whatever you're doing. Results take time, but just stay committed towards it. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say since I'm caught a little off guard,
That
but
is That is fantastic. Okay. Well, Helios, personal trainer and anti-aging specialist, Helius D'Souza. Thank you for being my guest, and thank you for being on Top.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And I always tell this, I ask all my guests, I'm going to reserve the right to have you back on another time.
That would be fantastic. Whenever it's,
especially when you have your encyclopedia ready to go, we'll come on and we'll talk about that. So
I enjoyed myself here for sure.
Again, thanks for being my guest. And folks, thanks for being here once again. And you can always catch the replays. But until then, visit Helios at his pages linked below. You can always visit me, Top Fitness Strategies. And so until the next time, this is Andrew and Helios. Ciao.
Bye. Thank you. See you.